This red part is where the fire is right now. What we're building here are called dozer lines, right?
Right, fire breaks.
Fire breaks. You take a bulldozer, you thank you to our other agencies, I'll get to them in a second, and you build a 14-foot swath here to stop the fire from spreading. And that's what we're trying to do. We want to actually encompass this ultimately. Where we have some real challenges, and this black here these are steep cliffs, these are ridges. So it's very challenging for the men and women on the ground to traverse those in normal vehicles, bulldozers. So this literally, these dots here, this is done by hand. This is over 150 people on the ground cutting through the trees by hand. It's dangerous work, it's grueling work, and that's what they have to do because of the steepness of the terrain here, but another dozer line, bulldozer line. And so the strategy is to encompass and circulate this with a wall so that it cannot spread to our more vulnerable areas here, such as Ellenville and where the prison is. We don't expect that to happen, but this is why we're taking these steps at this time. The DEC predicts that ultimately it will burn itself out. It may take a week, it may take 2 weeks, but we don't expect it to be able to threaten any life or structure. We have to expect the unexpected because the unexpected has now become the norm. That is our reality. That is our reality. And anyone who denies that, just come to New York. Let me show you how our state has changed so dramatically. Ask the farmers how different it is for them with their crops. Ask anyone in the tourism industry, places up on Lake Ontario that had a 100-year flood in 2017 and another 100-year flood in 2019. I made the observation, doesn't someone owe us 98 years in between these? So the 500-year event we had in New York City, the 100-year events we're seeing upstate, with flooding in our Great Lakes all the way to our rivers and valleys here in the Catskills. This is the world we're dealing with. It's harsh. It's not what we want to be dealing with, but we're ready.
Not only is it scary to see a significant wildfire on the scale of what we usually see on TV in other parts of our state or other parts of the world, but it's really sad. It's really sad that we have to marshal this kind of response.
The ground is smoking in many places. It's black. There are many trees that have been lost. And our people are right now right behind us cutting these lines in order to protect the valley from any potential expansion. So the weather conditions are not favorable. Unfortunately, we're seeing the likelihood of continued dry conditions, low humidity over the next few days. That's really, and the wind, of course, that's what makes this a potentially dangerous situation. And that's really why the governor has brought us all here to make sure that we're hitting this as quickly and as hard as possible.
I hate to say this as Parks Commissioner, but this upcoming weekend the park will be closed to the weekend because our park staff are not only to the dangerous conditions up there. We have recreational trails up there, just up this slope, but also our staff are all really totally preoccupied with with the fire.
People have their own fires and their own fire pits, and any one of them, we've seen disastrous situations in other states where that is the trigger for a cataclysmic event that spreads and destroys homes right in the neighborhood. So asking them to be personally responsible about their outdoor activities.
Things like smoking or the use of sparklers or anything like that, it's a really bad time to have very hot things or flames of any kind, even tiny ones in this area in the Mid-Hudson region. So folks need to make sure their fires are fully out, make sure that they're under control at all times, and keep an eye on embers anywhere they're going.